Yes guys, this is Evil GT and that is our 2005 Porsche Cayenne. For those who missed the video, we bought this absolute beast for £2,000. And for those who missed our second video, we fixed the suspension. Or so we thought. So this actually looks okay, but overnight it goes back down again. And it only seems to be this corner, which tells me it must be a leaking strut somewhere. Now the good thing is replacing the compressor wasn't completely wasted because it wouldn't go up at all previously. But as I mentioned, now it does go up, but it goes back down again overnight. So let's have a look and see where this leak's coming from. So if you enjoy watching somebody who has no clue what they're doing, then a sub to the channel would be mint. Now, from what I've watched and what I've read, there's a few different places that these can leak from. And one of the most common is the top mount and the top of the strut, and also that valve. What you would usually do is spray a bit of soapy water on. What I don't have is a sprayer, but I do have a cup, a detailing brush, and some soapy water, so I'm gonna give that a go. What I should also mention is, I have put a bit of weight back on the car, on the actual suspension, in the hope that it pushes the air out if there is a leak up here, which I'm expecting it to be somewhere. Now I've waited a few minutes and I've kept a good eye on everything in there. You can't see it because I've just tried to lower the car a bit more and put a bit more pressure on that shock, but there's absolutely no bubbles at all coming from anywhere in there, annoyingly. So the only other place to check is the pipes going into the compressor. Now straight away I've just put some soap on there and you can see the air bubble straight away, and that does say FR, which is front right, which is this one, and that is the one that is going down 100%. Now the weird thing about this is I did actually put new O-rings on all of these connectors, but the other weird thing about this is I actually had to take these off. But the other weird thing about this was this side was going down, this corner particularly, before I replaced this compressor and before I replaced this O-ring, which is weird, but anyway. So as you can see, I've absolutely drenched that with soapy water and we don't have a single air bubble. I've also covered all the other pipes just to double check and make sure. None of the others seem to be going down, none of the other corners, but I've just double checked, make sure no issues there whatsoever. The strut itself was bang on, there was no issues with that at all. So yeah, fingers crossed, I've fixed it. But tonight before I go home, I'll pump it up all the way to the top, leave it overnight, come back to it tomorrow, and hopefully the gap obviously won't be that big, but the gap remains the same on all four corners. Now there are a few more niggles with this car, one of which is the starter motor. When we had the cold weather, we're getting a bit warmer now, but in the cold weather you needed 2 or 3 attempts to get this car started. And at the moment it's not that big a deal, it does start first time, but sometimes it makes an horrific noise. So for the first time ever here on Evil GT, I'm going to attempt to replace a Porsche Cayenne starter motor, or any starter motor for that fact. One issue we do have is, this doesn't stay up, that gas strut is knackered. So far so good, all the dust covers are off around the edge, this front pipe is off. Next bit now is the secondary air pumps so that we can move that pipe at the back. We're getting there slowly but surely. These vacuum hoses are an absolute nightmare, and I think I've broken this trying to pull it off. There's a split there, don't know if you can see it, but yeah, I broke that one. Hopefully they're not an absolute fortune. Knowing my luck, it will be. So after a lot of things coming off, fuel lines, loads of other bits, loads of bolts, one's an absolute pig to get to down the back. I think we're about ready to get this off. And in true Evil GT style, things have not gone according to plan. Now before I started this, I noticed that there was loads and loads of leaves and conifer bits and all of this stuff all over the place. You couldn't really see right down into that little bit there all that well. But one thing that is not great is this. That is not good, because there's some that have gone right down into the inlet. So we need to hope and pray that I've got a decent enough hoover to get all of this out. There we go, so I've hoovered it up as best as I possibly could. I've gotten into all of the inlets there. I've had a good look in, I can't see much else in them, but I just hope it's not that bad. Now, starter motor is just underneath there, so I'm assuming we've got to disconnect some bits here, probably get this out the way somehow, I don't know, unless it comes through this little gap here. No joke, if anybody wants to know whether I'll do a starter motor on a Porsche Cayenne 955, the answer is definitely not, but thanks for asking. And there is my new one, eBay special, just over 100 quid, little bit of discount with a voucher or something that was on there. Amazingly, that was nowhere near as hard to get back in as it was to get it out. Fingers crossed we have just as much luck with the rest of it. Vacuum hoses are back on. I've duct taped that one up, as you can see, not ideal, but I've ordered a new one, Chinese special, 13 quid, so that's on its way. So that's just in the meantime to make sure that it's sealed and it starts, fingers crossed, and it's all alright. The other vacuum hose is on over there. I found it easier, which is mad, to put it back together than I did to take it apart. And I think part of that is because I actually knew what I kind of knew what was going where and what I needed to take off and stuff. And obviously some of them clips, these vacuum hoses and things, they're an absolute pain in the neck to get off. So yeah, that wasn't as bad as I was thinking it was going to be. So there we have it. Here is the moment of truth. Now I really do hope it starts, because I do not want to do that again. Wish me luck. Now you guys might be laughing at that, but that was by far the biggest job I have ever done on a car before. And it just goes to show a little bit of perseverance and definitely the right tools, You can actually do it if you have the patience to do it, which generally speaking I don't. But that is the suspension and the starter motor fixed now on our 955 Porsche Cayenne S. I was absolutely chucking it down today, but I want to go for a drive just to make sure that this suspension is definitely sorted and that the engine runs fine, because obviously I don't know whether I've put everything back where it should be. So we're taxed, we're MOT'd, we're insured, let's go take it for a spin. Apologies if it's not really framed very well or the audio's not great. I've literally just come for a little whiz around. I've just been messing about with the different height settings, and it's going up, it's going down. I've just put it in comfort, and it's just come up on there saying comfort is activated, so I'm well happy with this. It's still got an exclamation on the dashboard, but I don't know if that's just because it needs sort of clearing the fault codes, so I'm going to look into that, see if we can get it cleared, and hopefully get rid of that exclamation mark. And yeah, there's still loads more that's up with it. Stuff like the bodywork is obviously really tatty. There's the wheel bearing noise, which I think is the driver's side front, sounds like it anyway. The gearbox seems to sort of like be a bit, it's like skipping almost. It feels a little bit weird, the gearbox, but that might be a good service and a good flush out maybe, I don't know. And otherwise I'm really happy. It drives so well, this car, it's dead comfy. Obviously it sounds mint, it's not particularly fast, but yeah. Now that the starter motor is fixed and the air suspension is fixed, there was a couple of other issues that hopefully are fairly simple to sort out, one of which is the pan roof. And the other thing is that smell inside that interior, it's disgusting. Now, what I'm assuming I need is some proper sort of silicone type grease, or I don't know, some sort of grease for the rails up here. I don't have that, but I do have this. This may be at least to get it going so it works properly. Who knows, let's try it. It's really slow and it takes absolutely ages. Look at this. Yeah, so I'm gonna try and lube up the rails as much as I possibly can, and hopefully we'll make it a bit faster and a bit more reliable. Fingers crossed. Let's see if we've improved it. Oh. That's really struggling at the end. I'll keep working on it. I'll probably clean up the rails as well and then re-silicone them with the spray that I've got. But I'll have to keep a lookout. If you know in the comments, let me know the grease. Is it like a white grease that I should be using on these? Let us know in the comments exactly what that should be. Now the next thing is to sort out this absolutely disgusting interior. So there we have it, not perfect, but miles better. Well happy with that. Suspension's fixed. I think the compressor was about 220, 230 quid. The starter motor was about 100 quid. The pan roof, bit of lube. We need to obviously put a bit of grease on that to make it fix properly, but at least it opens and closes now, thankfully. We've still got the wheel bearing to sort out. It's making a horrific whirring. We have got the bodywork to sort out. That's going to probably be the most expensive bit of this project. There's cracks and stuff all over the place. Whether we keep these wheels, refurb and make them silver maybe, something like that, or whether we maybe get some smaller ones and then put some slightly fatter tyres on just to make them look a little bit better maybe. But there's still plenty to do. I mean, it was £2 grand. What more do you want for £2,000? So if you've enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. Plenty more to come on the Cayenne. I'll see you on the next one.